With Enzon being Daiwa's standalone feeder offering, we wanted to add an Enzon method feeder into the range, but we didn't want to do it until we felt we got it just right. So we set the task, took into consideration all sorts of different scenarios, whether it's fast and furious fishing for small fish, a venue like Todburn Manor down south, for example, where you're looking to be in and out all the time, looking to build your peg, or if you're sitting further out into a really big lake waiting for a big fish, somewhere like Ferry Meadows or Boddington. We wanted to make sure we had a nice compact range of feeders that suited every situation and every angler. So payload wise, we've got 3 different options in a small, a medium and a large. And in each of those sizes, there's varying weights as well to suit different situations and different fisheries. So starting off with a small size, it's a nice little compact diddy one here, but not too small that it makes it a bit pointless. It's a nice size, nice and compact, cast lovely, and it's available in a 20 and 30 gram option. Next up, the medium option. This is available in 25 gram, 35 and 45. So you've got a different feeder there for different situations. If you're fishing somewhere like we are today on the engine pool at Earlswood, I've started off with a 35 gram version, then the wind's got up, which is quite an open venue, and we switched over to the 45 gram version. In reality, if you're fishing with a medium feeder, you're not going to need a bigger feeder than a 45 gram just because of the nature of the fishing that you'll be doing with that size feeder. And last but not least, we've got the large version. This is available in 35 gram, 50 gram and 65 gram. As you can see, it's obviously larger than the medium size, but it's not a big, fat, bulky feeder that won't cast very nice at all. It's a nice streamlined shape that will cut through the wind, help you get the distance that you want to get to. So if I was fishing at a commercial fishery such as Gold Valley, for argument's sake, where I don't want to cast too often because I'm fishing for big fish, I want to keep the noise down, but I need quite a bit of food around my hook bait to attract a fish, that 35 gram version would be the one I used. And then the opposite end of the scale, if I was fishing a really big water like Boddington does, like one of our guys, Adam Wakeling, does a lot in the winter, but you need to be right out in the lake, up to 100 metres these guys are casting, the 65 gram version would be ideal on a day like that. So there you go, there's all the 3 sizes and the weights they come in. I'm sure there'll be one to suit your session wherever you're going. I just want to spend a few seconds talking to you about the ribs on the feeder itself. It's an important part on any method feeder, and it's one we tinkered about a lot with 3D printing out samples and various other samples to get it what we consider just right. So to start with, it's this gap here where your hook bait goes. We've got it what we feel is just the right gap in between the first and the second rib. If it was too big, it wouldn't hold your feed bait on well enough, but if it was too small, it might well trap your hook bait in between these 2 ribs so the fish couldn't get at it and you're not going to catch anything. So we got that just right. And going on to the height of the ribs themselves, if they were too low, they're not going to do their job and help you hold the bait, your feed bait onto the feeder. And if they were too high, it would hold your bait onto the feeder too much, so the fish wouldn't be able to get to the feed. So we've ended up at a height that's not too low so it doesn't keep your bait on, and it's not too high that it traps your bait on the feeder. So in our eyes, the perfect mix. Moving around to the back of the feeder, you'll notice there's some vent holes. The purpose of these is so your bait doesn't get stuck on the feeder and is still there when you reel it in. The stem lengths are purposely made to suit each size feeder, so the small, medium and large all come with different length stems. The reason for that is because we feel there's an optimal distance sticking out above the feeder for you to achieve casting accuracy, and also so it doesn't get in the way when you're moulding the feeder. A really nice feature on these method feeders is the ECS, the Easy Change System. What that basically means is you can pop the stems out, slide the feeder up your line, slit in the back of the feeder allows it to come off the line, then you can put a different size or different weight feeder back onto the line and back onto the stem and you're fishing again. It's a cracking little feature that makes the whole range really nice and versatile and gets you back fishing even quicker. Because you don't know what bait you're going to use in each session, whether it's softened pellets, ground bait or a mix of the 2, you know, it can change as you're going along throughout a session, of course. A mould is a real useful tool when you're fishing with a method feeder. So we've made sure we've got one for each size feeder. They're a nice, flexible silicone type material. So they're ever so user friendly, nice polished inner. So your bait exits the mould nice and easily, nice and cleanly. It allows you to get a nice, consistently moulded feeder, which will help you cast more accurately. It just makes it easier to use a method feeder when you're using it with a mould. Made them a nice bright red colour, so if you drop them in or drop them on the floor, you can see them really easily. They float, so if you drop them in the water, that mould's not gone for good. You can just scoop it back out with your landing net. They've got a nice little quick release zone on the back that will allow you to pop your method feeder full of feed out of the mould nice and easily. They're an essential product to have with your method feeder that will make your whole day go a lot smoother. You'll notice the finish on the method feeder is a nice camouflage type colour that will blend in with as many lake beds as possible. It's a very durable finish as well, so when the feeders are knocking about in transit, it's still going to maintain its nice looking finish. So that's the ins and outs of our new Enzon method feeders. Keep your eyes peeled, because this is just the first of many products that will use the Easy Change system.